Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey, this is EAJ-Man from Autopsy Live and the Skype Pirates. When I want to make it look like I don't give a shit about sports, I tune into Sports World Radio with Jeff Eskow.
Jeff
Doing bad time. Doing bad time. Got myself a problem.
Live from San Diego, it's Sports World Radio. You've never heard a sports show like this. Oh, no, you haven't.
Oh, blow me.
You got it.
Holy fucking shit.
What in the hell is your major malfunction?
Can't believe that goddamn son of a bitch did that fucking crap.
Don't give me any of your shit.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Can you say goodbye? How come we just can't try?
from San Diego, it's Sports World Radio. You've never heard a sports show like this. Oh, no, you haven't.
Oh, blow me.
You got it.
Holy fucking shit.
What in the hell is your major malfunction?
Can't believe that goddamn son of a bitch did that fucking crap.
Don't give me any of your shit.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Those are your hosts, Jeff Escow and Sean Mann. Remember, those who can't play sports, talk about it. These two tell it like it is. Tune into Sports World Radio for the fastest hour of sports of your life. So here they are, the douchebags of sports themselves, Jeff Escow and Sean Mann.
Hey, this is EAJ Man from Autopsy Live and the Skype Pirates. When I want to make it look like I give a shit about sports, I tune into Sports World Radio with Jeff Escow.
Doing my time. Doing my time. Got myself a problem.
Hey, welcome to Sports World Radio. I am your host, Jeff Escow. We got another jam-packed show like we do each and every day here on Sports World Radio. Going to have a lot of fun. Let's get all the particulars out of the way, and then I'll tell you what's going on with the show. This is Sports World Radio. We do this each and every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. on the East, 3 p.m. on the West. And if you live in the Central,
if you live in the Central, figure it out for yourself.
that's right. There's several ways to get in touch with us here at Sports World Radio. The easiest way is to come on over to our chat room over at Spreaker.com, Spreaker. That's Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com. Head on over there. If you don't have an account, make yourself a free account. It's free, sign up, it'll take a minute. Then type in Sports World Radio at the top. You'll see the show, it'll say live right on your screen. Click it. Click it. And then the show will come up at the bottom of your screen. Click the bubble all the way over to your right. Boom. You're in the chat room. Ask us any questions you want during the show. You can also head on over to Facebook and like our Facebook page at facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. Facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. And while you're doing that, might as well follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio. Twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio. Also, you can give us a call at 619-663-3715. 619-663-3715. If you don't like what we're saying, tell us what you're thinking. Or send us an email to swrshow@gmail.com. swrshow@gmail.com. Those are the ways to get in touch with us here at Sports World Radio. Now, we have a contest going on. We're looking for a new intro. 60 seconds long, no curse words. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann must be in there. Send that to introcontest@sportsworldradio.com. That's introcontest@sportsworldradio.com. With all that being said, oh wait, don't forget, I got one more thing. Don't forget to sign up for our sports shorts. You want to hear what me and the guys are talking about during the commercial breaks? Head on over to swrsportshorts.com/SWR-shorts. That's swrsportshorts.com/SWR-shorts and sign up today. And listen to all the conversations that me and the guys have during the commercial breaks. And there have been some doozies. In fact, now you know what? I'm not even going to tell you. I have a surprise for the sports short people that I'm going to put on by the end of August. That it's not going to be anywhere else but on the sports shorts. I'm not putting it on our SoundCloud. I'm not putting it anywhere else but our sports shorts. It's going to be a surprise. So if you want to know what it is, sign up for our sports shorts today at swrsportshorts.com/SWR-shorts. Become a member today and listen to all the conversations we have on the commercial breaks. With all that being said, what do you say, hey, we bring in that co-host of ours, Sean Mann, the update man. What's going on there, you rat bastard?
Welcome, everybody, to Sports World Radio on this 26th of August, 2015. It's 6:08 p.m. on the East Coast, which makes it 3:08 p.m. on the West. Weather right now is 95 degrees, hot and very smoky here. The smoke is so thick, we got so many wildfires going on in the area. Other
Really?
than that, doing okay.
Really? A lot of wildfires out there, my friend? Really?
Yeah, Washington State, North Idaho, yes, a lot.
Wow, that's crazy. It's smoking hot out here. It's about 99 degrees out here, man. It's freaking hot. You know what? In fact, I don't normally do this. It's 97 degrees right now outside. 97 degrees outside right now. And I got the air conditioner on. I'm not sitting in this heat. There's no freaking way I'm sitting in this heat. I'm just letting you know right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. So I got the air conditioner on. But yeah. Oh, okay, now. Don't forget, boys and girls. The bottom of this hour. The bottom of this hour, 6:30 on the east, 3:30 on the west. If you live in the Central?
If you live in the Central, figure it out for yourself.
Right. Bottom of this hour, Jon Machot of the Dallas Morning News coming in to talk about some Dallas Cowboys football. And you all know how I feel about the Dallas Cowboys. So it should be very, very, very interesting.
Ryan Stickablazing has a bone to pick with Jeff, Sean, and Frank Sprinkle. He said that Frank Sprinkle is a loudmouth and doesn't know what he's talking about. He said Jeff Escow is a worthless sports broadcaster, overrated, and doesn't know anything, and that Sean is a sad story when it comes to making bets.
Okay, you want to know something? I love the fact that I am living inside of Ryan's head for free. I'm living. Hey, Ryan, guess what? Sports World Radio is living inside your brain for rent-free. We're inside your head. We're so deep inside your head, it sucks, doesn't it, dude? You have to listen to this show every day. You can't help yourself now. You know why? Because you're addicted to it. That's why. You can't help yourself, man. Sports World Radio is living inside your brain rent-free. Thank you very much, my friend. You keep doing what you're doing. I don't care if it's good publicity. I don't care if it's bad publicity. You keep doing it, boy, because you know what? You're bringing us listeners, you dumb son of a bitch.
And he's the one who's probably can't get over the fact that he's not only in your head, but he's the one that says that Jeff got me fired for my job.
I see, and the fact is, I don't care. I love the fact that I'm living inside your head rent-free. That makes me happy. And knowing, and you know how I know that?
Why?
Why? Because he writes stuff about us every day, which means he listens to us every day. He hates the show, he can't stand us, but he listens to us every day. That's telling me I'm living in his brain rent-free. Thank you very much, you dumbass.
He can't even shake us off, and all he has to do is go to Josh and email him.
Unbelievable. Thank you. You know what? You're making me a happy camper by doing what you're doing. I don't care if you write bad things about us. I don't care if you write good things about us. As long as you write something about us, you dumbass. You write something about us every single day. That proves to me you listen to the show every single day. You keep saying every day, I hate the show, I hate the show, I hate the show, I hate the show. But guess what? You listen every single day. Unbelievable. Now, I got another bone to pick with somebody before we go on to our interview today with Jon Machot coming in from the Daily Morning News.
12 minutes after the hour, the floor is yours. I think I have a feeling, Jeff, that you've got something big.
Okay, so last night I was on a call with Josh and Sean.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my Facebook on. I was perusing through my Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I came across something very interesting on Facebook. And I'm going to actually bring it up right now so I can have it in front of me. Very, very interesting. Where is that picture? There was a picture on Facebook. It says ESPN's top 10 quarterbacks of the National League this year. Where is that? Uh-oh. And I was fit to be tied. I was fit to be tied, man.
I think you were fuming. I think from the
You
the
think?
Skype conference call.
You think?
Well, hard to say, Jeff.
I was pissed off, man. I was very pissed off. And now I can't find it on my computer, which even makes me even more pissed off. Oh, there it is, right there. I got it now. Okay. They put this top 10 out last night. I'm gonna go from 10 to 1. And I did this last night with the boys, and the boys nearly had a heart attack.
Oh no, here it comes.
Okay? I'm gonna do it. Nobody interrupt me. Watch this. Number 10, Joe Flacco. Number 9, Matt Ryan. Number 8, Phillip Rivers. Number 7, Eli Manning. Number 6, Ben Roethlisberger. Number 5, Drew Brees. Number 4, Peyton Manning. Number 3, Tom Brady. Number 2, Tony Romo. Number 1, Aaron Rodgers. Excuse me? What? There's 2 quarterbacks that aren't even on this list. Where the hell is Wilson and where the hell is Andrew Luck? And for Jiminy Cricket's sakes, out of wild world of sports, do you put Tony Romo number 2? What, are you freaking kidding me? Just because he had one good year, you put him at number 2? Scratch my ass. That's right, Smoking Ronnie. I'm talking to you. Are you kidding me?
And you could address that toward Michael Sines, since he's a diehard Cowboys fan, says that Romo is better than Eli Manning.
Look at Shaba. I knew Shaba wasn't going to like that number 5 spot neither. 5th was about right. Can you believe that? Joe Flacco, Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Tony Romo, Aaron Rodgers. Holy freaking Toledo, Batman.
Oh, my gosh, that's funny.
Hey, what is this, a list of top 10 30-year-old quarterbacks in the league?
Apparently, to the experts, they believe that Tony Romo is the real deal. And look what Smoking Ronnie says. Hey, Jeff, your butt hurt.
I damn right I'm butt hurt. The guy had one good season since he's been a Dallas Cowboy quarterback, and they're putting him number 2. Meanwhile, Tom Brady, who's got more freaking playoff wins in 1 year than Tony Romo's gotten his whole career, is number 3. And Peyton Manning, who's got more playoff wins in 1 year than Tony Romo in his career, is number 4. And the same thing with Drew. Are you freaking kidding me? Tony Romo should be not even in. You know what? I could kick Tony Romo out of the top 10 because you don't have Luck in there and you don't have Wilson in there. Wilson is definitely better than. Wilson should be in the top 5. Are you really?
Shabba goes 17 minutes after the hour. Shabba's butt is blazing.
I'm sure it is.
And he says, ha, 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 Escow, I'm loving every minute of it. He goes, you can't argue with experts, Jeff.
Exactly, Josh. Exactly. Joe Flacco's number 10 on this list. He should be ahead of freaking Tony Romo as far as I'm concerned.
Smoking Ronnie, you are just all happy about this whole situation because Romo continues to be on the top 10 of every list.
In fact, you know what? Let's put Tony Romo at number 10, and let's put Joe Flacco at number 9, and let's get rid of Matt Ryan and stick in Andrew Luck.
I still have our top 10 list we have from July with James Prezzelli.
Ridiculous, man.
Well, maybe these writers are meeting with James Prezzelli and says, let's just upset Sports World Radio and Jeff, and let's put Romo on the top 5 category.
Number 2. Number 2. He should be It should be on the high side of the 10. He should be 10, 9, 8, right around there, if he's lucky to make the top 10. When we did our list, I don't think any of us had him in the top 10. Sean, do you have our lists?
Yeah.
You have our lists in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, read your top 10 really fast. Go from 10 down to 1.
Waiting for this thing to load up.
Oh, see?
Okay, mine for number 10. That would be, I went with Andrew Luck, number 10.
Go fast.
Number 9, Matt Ryan. Number 8, Drew Brees. Number 7, Aaron Rodgers. Number 6, Russell Wilson. Number 5, Ben Roethlisberger. Number 4, Joe Flacco. Number 3, Keep Me Omaha said Hut, Peyton Manning. Number 2, Eli Manning. And number 1, Tom Brady.
Okay. Nowhere on that list did I hear the name Tom Brady. Do Josh's.
Tony Romo, you meant.
Yeah,
Okay,
Tony Romo. I'm sorry. Nowhere
okay,
on the list do I hear Tony Romo's name.
All right, 19 minutes after the hour, Josh's list. Number 10, Matt Ryan. Number 9, Andrew Luck. Number 8, Drew Brees. Number 7, Eli Manning. Number 6, Ben Roethlisberger. Number 5, Russell Wilson. Number 4, Aaron Rodgers. Number 3, Tom Brady. Number 2, Joe Flacco. And number 1, Josh, you went with Joe Flacco.
Yeah, well, you did Joe Flacco twice. You did number 2 and number 1. What's up with that?
Oh, number 2 is Peyton Manning, and number 1 was Joe Flacco.
Okay, well, you said number 2 for Joe Flacco and then number 1 for Joe Flacco.
All right.
Okay, do mine.
Jeff's list, number 10, Ben Roethlisberger. Number 9, Drew Brees. Number 8, Phillip Rivers. Number 7, Andrew Luck. Number 6, Russell Wilson. Number 5, Peyton Manning. Number 4, Joe Flacco. Number 3, Eli Manning. Number 2, Tom Brady. And Jeff's number 1 quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
Nowhere on any 3 of those lists was the name Tony Romo. Nowhere on any of those top 10 lists was Tony Romo. You know why? Because we're doing it for the career. We ain't doing it from last year. That's why.
Smoking Ronnie says, Jeff's Russell Wilson.
I didn't have Russell Wilson number 1.
He's saying it to me. Smoking Ronnie, look, he's won 1 Super Bowl. What's Tony Romo done? Don't tell me, give me a break.
Nowhere on Russell Wilson has won more playoff games than Tony Romo has in his entire career. And Russell Wilson's been in the league 3 years.
Smoking Ronnie, 2 playoff wins for Tony Romo. Give me a break. Now that's give me a break.
Well, yeah, Tony Romo is so good in this preseason. He's 1 for 1, -1. Woohoo! That's the quarterback I want. You know something? You better have a freaking running game. Otherwise, he's gonna tie the NFL for the most interceptions this year because he's gonna have to throw the ball every single down.
And the question is, can the offensive line give him enough protection in the pocket?
Tony Romo number 2. Get the hell out of here. Are you kidding me? That's the worst top 10 list I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's pitiful right there.
Tony Romo, give me a break. He's not even a top 15 quarterback. That's what Josh says.
I bet you we could do 15 and he wouldn't even be in the top 15.
I'm sure he wouldn't. Jeff, Smoking Ronnie says, hey, Jeff, who gave you guys a sports show? Ha, 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 ha.
Hey, I've been doing this sports show, Ronnie, since you've been in diapers, dude. Okay? I've been doing this sports show since since all of you boys have been in diapers. Okay? So just sit back and relax and enjoy. Tony Romo number 2. Come on.
The guy, I know, 2 playoff wins, and probably people are saying, well, what about his 4th quarter comebacks? What about how clutch Tony Romo is?
Listen, Skip Bayless still thinks he played against the freaking Chargers in the preseason game 2 Thursday nights ago.
Right.
Okay? So don't get me started. Please don't get me started, Tony Romo number 2. Are you kidding me? Where's
Jeff
Russell Wilson on this list? Where's Andrew Luck on this list?
Jeff is still shaking his head about it.
Unbelievable. I went ballistic last night when I saw this, right, boys?
Yes, you did.
Are you freaking kidding me? Are you really? I don't care. You don't put a top 10 quarterback list from last year and say, oh, let's see how we're going to rank them as how they did from last year. No, it's their career. And Tony Romo, in his career, has had crap. Hasn't made the playoffs a lot. Has 2 playoff wins in his entire career. How does that say I'm a good quarterback? How does that say I'm a good quarterback? If it was anybody else, But Tony Romo, you'd be ripping the crap out of him, right, Smoking Ronnie? Ripping the crap out of him. But because he's your quarterback, oh, he's the best thing since sliced bread. No, it don't work like that. Listen, if it was Eli Manning instead of Tony Romo, I'd be saying the same goddamn thing, and you know it, Smoking Ronnie. You know it.
Yeah, Smokin' says, watch the Cowboys have a perfect season, and then the Cowboys
right.
win a Super Bowl.
Hey, Smoking Ronnie, I'm hoping and praying that you got those barbecue ribs and barbecue sauce ready for the Super Bowl party here in San Diego this year, because your ass is going to be out here cooking.
Remember, Smokin' Ronnie, the pressure is on you because Cowboys don't win. Whoa.
I'm going to tell you something, Smoking Ronnie. Okay? Smoking Ronnie, if it was Drew Brees, if it was Peyton Manning, if it was Tom Brady, if it was Eli Manning, if it was Ben Roethlisberger, if it was any, I'm going to call them out on it. It doesn't matter who it is. We are an equal opportunity ripper here on Sports World Radio. It doesn't matter who it is. Okay? Tony Romo plays for the Dallas Cowboys, so he's a very high, well-known quarterback who does nothing. Absolutely. It doesn't matter what quarterback it is, what team he plays for. If they're playing bad, I will call them out.
Shabba, would Laura approve of you running around naked with no clothes on with the fact that the Cowboys possibly get to a Super Bowl? Oh, gosh. Whoa.
When Eli Manning was playing bad for the New York Giants, I called him out on it.
Smokin' Ronnie says, I won't need him. He's probably saying, I won't need to worry about buying you barbecue ribs because the Cowboys will be in the Super Bowl.
They're not going to be in the Super Bowl. It's not going to happen, dude. I hope everybody can join us on September 5th for our first NFL Real Talk show this year. 2 hours long, 9 o'clock on the East, 6 o'clock on the West, and we're doing our prediction show. We're picking every team's record. Every NFL team's record, we're predicting it. We're making our predictions for every team. And we're doing it in a different way that everybody else does.
Smokin' Ronnie says, that's right. I'm winning the bet, and Eskow's going to lose.
No, you're not. Listen, you already lost Scanlon. Okay? You already lost that dude. Who else do you want to lose?
You also lost to Marco Murray.
Right. You lost you just lost Scanlon to injury. You lost to Marco Murray. Okay, if you're depending on Morris Claiborne, who just came back from being out all season, and Tyler Patman, I think you got a little bit of a problem over there.
He already says it. Look at that. Smokin' Ronnie says, watch the Cowboys, folks. They'll be 12-4 this year.
Well, I hope you're here for our Saturday night show, because you're going to be very interested to see and we're doing it different. We're going game by game for each team. It's going to be very different here. It's going to be fast-moving, fast-paced. It's going to be 2 hours. It's going to be a blast. I hope you can join us on September 5th, 9 o'clock on the East, 6 o'clock on the West, right here on Sports World Radio for our NFL Real Talk show.
I'm sure, Josh, wherever you're at, you're just sitting there shaking your head at Smokin' Ronnie. Smokin', it's like that all year with you. You're talking about how big the Cowboys are going to be, that they're going to be this marvelous team, and that they're back, and that they're having the winning ways of the 90s. Give me a break.
Yeah, winning ways. Yeah, September 5th. I said it, bitch. Winning ways. They have one good year, and you know what? Cowboys have one good year, and all of a sudden, all the Cowboy fans come out of the woodworks. You want to know something? My nephew was here back in July. Sat in on a show with us. He said, and he's a diehard Cowboy fan, he said, in studio, Cowboys will not win a Super Bowl with Tony Romo as their quarterback. His words, not mine. And he's a diehard Cowboys fan.
And I'm a witness to that, Smokin' Ronnie.
But even he sees the truth.
So you better have your ribs ready. And
See
you
what
better
it
get
is?
your airline
See,
ticket
this
paid for
happens.
now.
This happens every single year at the beginning of football season. Tony Romo puts everybody, it memorizes everybody. Tony Romo's going to do good. He's going to do great. Everybody's all Tony Romo bandwagon. And then when the season starts and he starts to fall apart, everybody gets pissed off they're not playing good. You know why? Because Tony Romo's their quarterback. That's why.
And I remember a few years ago, Jeff, when you and I were doing shows, and I think it was like 2011, Cowboys had big leads and they were blowing games, and I was saying, well, Jeff, the Cowboys are blowing all these big games, and all the media's upset and up in arms why they're not winning. And that's why Jeff says he's a below-average quarterback at best.
That's right. Unbelievable. Unstinkunbelievable.
And the Smoking Ronnie says, we'll see, Jeff.
We'll see. That's right. We'll see. We're going to talk more Dallas Cowboy football. When we come back after this break, we're going to have Jon Machot on from the Dallas Morning News talking Dallas Cowboys football. You're listening to Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow New Way to Workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. Okay, joining us right now from the Dallas Morning News, Jon Machot. Thank you, John, so much for joining us here on Sports World Radio and spending some time with us today.
Oh, yeah, man, no problem at all, anytime.
So, big news in Dallas. Losing Scanlon, that's the big news going on there. What's the atmosphere like out there? Are they still in Oxnard?
They are. They're here, actually, until Thursday. They leave Thursday night after they have a practice in the evening, and then they head back and get right back into preseason games. They got their first preseason game at AT&T Stadium, which will be Saturday against the Vikings. So, yeah, the mood is really down. I mean, it was almost – practice was almost over yesterday, and Skander got in he was kind of backing off as Lucky Whitehead was making this catch across the middle, and when Lucky Whitehead went down, there was just no place for Orlando Skander to go, and Whitehead's shoulder looked like it caught Orlando in the right knee, and it was just one of those injuries you knew right away. Guys that were around him were waving for the training staff and cussing, and the other guys like Morris Claiborne that had been in those situations before, you would just see the look on their face and how scared they were as Brian comes over there, and he's down on his knees too. I mean, they just knew how big of a loss that is. He's their best corner, and it was just evident. You didn't even need the MRI or anything like that. You knew it was serious. Orlando Skander was actually yelling that he knew it was his ACL, and that he kept saying that his ACL was gone, like he was done. So I mean, it was evident right from the get that this was not going to be something that he was only going to be out for a few weeks on.
Wow, that's tough for the Dallas Cowboys. So with Morris Claiborne coming back off for injury and Tyler Patman playing, going over there, what do you see is going to happen there in their secondary now?
I mean, as good as Skandrick is and as big of a loss as it is, you look around the league and there's tons of teams getting major injuries and guys being lost. Obviously, you've seen with the Packers, Jordy Nelson is one example, but this is an area that for the Cowboys, they do seem to be able to have some pieces in there where they can maybe overcome it a little bit just because you mentioned Patman. He's really come on. He was an undrafted rookie free agent last year, and going into his second season just seems like he has a lot more confidence. He has a lot of similarities to Orlando Skandrick, both personality-wise and on the field. So I think he'll be the guy that takes over in the slot. And then they drafted Byron Jones in the first round, the corner out of UConn, and he was getting some reps at safety and corner. But I think now with this injury, he's going to just stick with corner. So he'll pretty much be the guy that he'll kind of fill in both spots, a little bit behind Claiborne, maybe some where Patman's at, and then also with Brandon Carr on the other side. So, and then they also have Corey White, who they brought in from, he was with the Saints the last 3 years. So, I mean, they have 5 corners that they can rotate, but they had a real nice rotation of 6 going throughout camp up until the Skandrick loss.
John, one of our listeners has a question for you. Are the Cowboys going after a running back since they lost DeMarco Murray to free agency?
As of right now, they're not, but if they're not liking what they see out of Joseph Randle and Darren McFadden by the end of preseason, I wouldn't rule them out going out and making a move. I mean, everything that they've done in the offseason points towards win now. That's why you bring in a guy like Greg Hardy, regardless of the way it looks off the field, and obviously with what happened with Greg Hardy, that was a move that there was a lot of scrutiny behind that. But you do that because you're trying to win now, and if the running backs they have right now aren't getting the job done, I'm very confident that they will go out and add a back, whether it's somebody that gets cut from someone else's roster when they turn to 53, or if it's something where they trade future draft picks to try and get a guy from a team, because I don't think that's not going to be what holds them back. They'll go get it back if the guys that are on the roster right now aren't getting the job done.
Jon Machot joining us from the Dallas Morning News, talking Cowboys football here. You mentioned their running back position. If McFadden and Randall and Dunbar can't do the job, will they even entertain the thought of going after Ray Rice?
I don't think they will, and I don't know if it's necessarily the off-the-field stuff. I mean, the Cowboys, with Jerry Jones as the owner, they've never shied away from guys with some off-the-field problems. Jerry Jones, I feel like, loves giving second chances as much as anybody, especially in the NFL. So I don't think that that's the reason. I just don't know if they feel he hasn't anything left in the tank to really contribute. If Ray Rice was, let's say, Adrian Peterson, Jamal Charles still had that kind of a talent, or he was still like in his prime right now, I think you'd see him with another team. I think the reason he's not is because the off-the-field issue, obviously, with his girlfriend, wife now at the time, coupled with that, I think that a lot of teams don't know if he's still the same back he was when the Ravens went to the Super Bowl. So I don't think it would be a Ray Rice. I think it would be a proven back that maybe a team that doesn't have a chance at the playoffs is willing to maybe trade for some future draft picks.
Okay, John, so if they don't have a running game and they have a good offensive line, can Tony Romo throw the ball every play?
I mean, he can, but I think that, it's kind of the same deal like I feel like with the New Orleans Saints is, if you don't have a running game, can Drew Brees sling it and win games for you? Absolutely. And I think Tony Romo could do the same for the Cowboys. But that version of the Cowboys is not winning the Super Bowl, going to the Super Bowl, even, going far in the playoffs. They need to be balanced with the run and the pass to kind of get everything going. And that's why everything clicked for them last year, is because, you have a Des Bryant on the outside, and you couple that with, what was the best running game in football last year. Now you're a force. And even on the defense last year, that wasn't one of the better ones in the league. Heck, it was even middle of the pack. You can kind of cover that up when you have that much balance on offense. You just go to passing all the time. Teams are going to know what you're doing, and you can win games like that, but they ain't going to win enough to get to where their goals are, and that's obviously getting back to Santa Clara for the Super Bowl.
Can Tony Romo take this team to the playoffs, win some playoff games? I mean, he's been there for, 6, 7 years? He's got 2 playoff wins in his career, and everybody's anointing him one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL, which I don't get. But can he do the job and get them to the Super Bowl?
I think he can if and I mean, like we were just talking about, he needs that running game. I mean, that's what helped him so much last year. As much as, DeMarco Murray in the offensive line gets so much credit for that record season he had, over 1,800 yards. I mean, if he has something that's even close to that, obviously Tony will be able to take advantage of that, and he'll be able to. When I first got down here, I started covering the team 5 years ago, and I always had those thoughts of, I don't know if Romo will win it all because, he has this tension of kind of making that mistake in the big moment. But the more I see of him, the more he matures as a player. Even though he might not be the same way he was physically earlier in his career, I do think Tony Romo is a better quarterback, and I think that last year was the best Tony Romo's ever played. And now coming off of not having a back surgery and having a full training camp under his belt, I think you could see an even better Tony Romo this year. So, I mean, I know he has a history of having that big turnover, but at the same time, I don't think at all that he's reached his max potential. I think Romo can actually even be better this year.
Do you think he is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah, I do, without a doubt. I feel like you got your top 5 or 6, and those are a lot of the guys that have had the postseason success on top of having the stats. But then once you start getting down into that 7, 8, 9, 10, I mean, you're getting a lot of guys like the Matt Ryans, the Eli Manning, guys that I can't sit here and say are definitely better than Tony Romo is. I don't know if that he's had the same supporting cast that some of those guys have had when they've had the most success that they've had in their career. But I do think that Romo right now is in that 6 to 7 range, somewhere in there. And I think the one that's keeping him from being even higher is to have that postseason success, because obviously that weighs so heavily, and that's really what kind of separates everybody at the top. But you look across the league, man, and there's not a lot of really good quarterbacks that you can just put everything on their shoulders, and Romo is one of the few where I think you really can do that.
Jon Machot is joining us from the Dallas Morning News here on Sports World Radio. If he does not win a Super Bowl, how does his career look to everybody else if he doesn't get to the promised land and win a Super Bowl?
Well, if he never gets past where he's been right now, and that's just getting to the second round, then I think he's just looked at it as just a really good player, and with a really good, he had a good career, and he had it with one of the most visible franchises in all sports, and that would be great for him. But I think with the Super Bowl stuff, that's when you make that's when you start getting mentioned with the elite. The game's great, and if he's not able to get there, then I don't know if he'll ever be mentioned in that same breath as some of the great quarterbacks, especially when you're at an organization like the Cowboys. You got a pretty high bar there with Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman. So, if he was with the Detroit Lions, I'm originally from Detroit, so if he was with the Detroit Lions and he just got them to the Super Bowl, I mean, Tony Romo would own that city. So whether they won the game or not, but when your standards are as high as the Cowboys, it's a little bit different.
See, here at Sports World Radio, we don't agree that Tony Romo is even a top 10 quarterback.
All right, give me your top 10.
Sean?
The top 10 that we have now for mine, I'm going to read it right now to you, John. I'm going to say this. Okay, my top 10, Andrew Luck, Matt Ryan, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Ben Roethlisberger, Joe Flacco, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, and Tom Brady. That's my top 10, John. Now, for Jeff, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson, Peyton Manning. That's number 5 for Manning. Number 4 is Joe Flacco. Number 3 is Eli Manning. Number 2 is Tom Brady. And number 1 is Aaron Rodgers.
Those are our 2 top 10s.
Okay. The guys that jump out at me that I don't agree with right away are the Matt Ryans and the Joe Flaccos. I know Flacco had a really good playoff run, and he does have the Super Bowl, and so a lot of people are going to put that and put him above that because of that, and that's fine. But Romo's never had a defense as good as what some of those Ravens teams that Flacco's played with. So I'm thinking of it as if they are not on the teams they're on right now, and it's just a draft, and you're picking 1 through 10 for this season. I can't take Joe Flacco. I wouldn't take Matt Ryan, and I wouldn't take Eli Manning over him. The Rodgers, Brees, Brady's, Roethlisberger's, I have no problem with those, and even Phillip Rivers, I'd entertain that. But again, I I'm just not as sold on the Joe Flacco, Matt Ryan's as some other people are. And then the other debatable one is Russell Wilson too. I mean, Russell Wilson has been great, and he's been to 2 Super Bowls, and that's fantastic. But Russell Wilson has a ton of talent, and I would argue the most talent in the league around him. So, what does Russell Wilson do with an 8-8 Cowboys team of a few years ago? I don't know if they even go 8-8. So, I mean, I need to see more from Russell Wilson now to automatically just claim that he's a top 10 quarterback in the league.
Well, that wasn't from last year. That was from the time that Tony Romo's been in the league, actually.
Okay.
That's how we determined to do our top 10, and that's why we did it like that. Okay. It wasn't just from last year like everybody else is doing. See, I feel that everybody else is putting Tony Romo in the top 10 from what he did last year, and for me, 1 year does not make a career.
True, I understand that. I think that it's not just 1 year that Romo's put up good numbers. I think that he's done it for a longer period of time. Those years when Terrell Owens was still in Dallas, I mean, he still had good numbers. He was putting them up for a while. I feel like those last 4 years, well, actually last 3 years before this 12-win team, those 8-8 seasons every year, there were a lot of things missing on that offense that allowed them to have success. First of all, they didn't have a running game at all. Mm-hmm. I mean, all those other quarterbacks have actually had a running game behind them to kind of take some pressure off of them, whereas Romo really hasn't gotten that until this past year with Murray.
Right, and now he doesn't have it again this year.
No, absolutely. But the thinking is that with this offensive line that they have, they don't need a DeMarco Murray to have success running the football, and they're not putting it on. They don't plan on putting it on Tony Romo's shoulders. They plan on still running the football and allowing to take what the defense gives them, but they're still trying to establish the run even though they don't have DeMarco Murray.
And if they can't establish that run, they're going to end up putting it all on his shoulders, and they probably won't end up making the playoffs if that happens, right?
I mean, I could see them possibly making the playoffs, but they definitely aren't making a run without a running game. That's for sure.
Hey, John, we got 2 final questions for you before we like to let all our guests go. First question is, what's the record of the Dallas Cowboys this year?
It's so tough because of injuries. I mean, you lose a run where you lose a Dez, and I think this is a team that might only win 6-7 games, but going with the health that they have right now, the team that I've seen in training camp over the last month, this is definitely a double-digit win team. I would think 10-11 wins should be about where that they're at, and maybe even 12 if things go their right way. But I think they're the favorite in the NFC East, and I think it'll be double-digit wins for the second consecutive season.
Okay, Super Bowl 50 is coming. Who do you see in Super Bowl 50?
Again, I mean, if Jordy Nelson doesn't go down, I would really favor the Packers. With him out, I think that they drop off, and I think Seattle's the favorite in the NFC, and I think the Cowboys are a little bit behind them, but I still think the Seahawks are the favorite. And then in the AFC, it's tough to go against the Patriots. I just think that they have the formula to get back there, even without Tom Brady for the first 4 games. And I mean, I wouldn't write off Denver either, but I think it'll be Patriots, Seahawks again.
And the reason why we asked that is because we have several Dallas Cowboy fans in our chat room, and I have a bet with one of them. He says that they're going to go undefeated and make the Super Bowl, and if they don't, he has to come out here and cook for our Super Bowl party.
Well, man, that's a good bet. I wouldn't bet on any team going undefeated in the way the NFL is today with the salary cap. There's just too much parity in the NFL, and that's why I say if you lose a Romo or Dez Bryant go down, you go from being a 10, 11 win type team to maybe only half that many wins. So, good health is the key. There's not many teams making runs in the NFL anymore with several major injuries. You just don't see that in the NFL.
John, before we let you go, let our fans know how they can find you on the internet.
I'm on Twitter at Jon Machot, so it's at JONMACHOTA. And also I write for the Dallas Morning News, so it's DallasNews.com. And you can go to our sports page, or you can go to our Cowboys page, and I have blogs on there updated daily.
John, thank you so much for joining us today here on Sports World Radio. We really appreciate your time and hope we can do it again during the season.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. Thank you. There goes Jon Machot, Dallas Morning News writer for the Dallas Morning News. We're going to be right back. We're going to run to a quick commercial break. Actually, we're going to run to our first update of the day, This update is brought to you by the Flipper. Head on over to flipperflipper.com and never, ever touch your toilet seat ever again. Take it away, Sean Mann, with the first update of the day.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. It is the 26th of August, 2015. It is 3:48 p.m. on the West Coast, which makes it 6:48 p.m. on the East Coast. Major League Baseball, here are the finals from this afternoon. The Astros pick up a big win against the fading New York Yankees by a score of 6-2. The Mariners, they prevail against the Athletics 8-2. Other games we have in Major League Baseball, you got the Padres at the Nationals, Mets at the Phillies, Angels at the Tigers, Brewers at the Indians, Rockies taking on the Braves tonight, Dodgers at the Reds, Pirates at Marlins, Twins at Rays, Blue Jays at Rangers, the Red Sox taking on the White Sox, Orioles at the Royals, Cardinals at the Diamondbacks, and on ESPN Wednesday Night Baseball, it will be the Cubs taking on the Giants. In the NFL, we are expected to hopefully know by Monday, the 31st of August, whether Tom Brady and Commissioner Goodell, which are forced and ruled to come meet with the judge to hopefully handle this Deflategate situation. There is an MRI that has been reported that there is no damage in Johnny Manziel's sore elbow. So there's been reports that his elbow should be fine and should hopefully be ready for opening day against the Jets. But, of course, Josh McCown is possibly the leading candidate for the starting job. It has also been reported that one day after Michael Vick signed a one-year contract, Pittsburgh Steelers fans are in disgust and anger after the Vick signing yesterday. In the NBA, of course, all the schedules are out for the NBA season. We are not too far away from training camp. However, a big news has come. A couple headlines. LeBron James sold his home for $13.4 million down in Miami. The Clippers, of course, were fined $250,000 for that negotiation they made with DeAndre Jordan back in July. We are 50 minutes past the hour. We're going to run to our first commercial, our commercial break of the day. Remember, this update was brought to you by Flipper. Go to flipperflipper.com and never, ever touch your toilet seat ever again. We are just not far away from having Ron Gallo in for the top of the hour for his hockey perspective.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Why does consultant Jerry Howell say at La Quinta?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Because only with La Quinta can Jerry instant hold the room tonight using just his phone number. And then power down for tomorrow on his pillow top bed. And when Jerry's refreshed, you know what he does?
We need ideas, people. Think. Synergistic integration. Genius.
He thinks outside the box.
I'm going for it. No.
La Quinta Inns and Suites take care of you so you can take care of business. Instant hold your next stay on your smartphone at LQ.com.
La Quinta.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Feskow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2-hour sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on Sports World Radio. All right. Thank you to Jon Machot coming on in from the Dallas Morning News talking Dallas Cowboys football. That was a lot of fun, huh?
It was tremendous, and it was good.
I grilled him a little bit about Tony Romo, huh?
You really got into the Tony Romo subject
Just
here
a little
at
bit.
53 minutes after the hour.
I grilled him just a little bit. Just a little bit. Hey, coming up about after our first break in 4:15, I spoke to Mr. Ron Gallo. He will be coming in to talk hockey. He's running a little late, but he will be showing up like he's supposed to. So he will be here. What's our next topic there, Mr. Sean?
Okay, the next story that we get to. During the Houston Astros 15-1 pounding over the New York Yankees on Tuesday, Carlos Gomez told Joe Girardi in the Yankees dugout to, quote, "Shut up," causing the benches to clear in the sixth inning. Gomez's 3-run home run later in the game probably didn't help matters either. Potentially a brawl ensued. Benches did clear between Houston and the Yankees, and the Houston Astros did beat, as I pointed out in the update, the Yankees 6-2. I think, Jeff, the tide is starting to turn a little bit with the Yankees in a way because they ended up losing last night and getting pounded. They lose this afternoon. They know very well things could slip for them. Sure, they're in the wild card lead, but as far as the division, that could fall through. And, of course, there's a number of teams are right on their tail to try to overtake them for the number one wild card.
That's becoming very interesting, isn't it?
It has been. Because the Yankees kind of had a feeling a couple weeks ago when they were doing so well and they were the hottest team in the month of July that they were going to be the team that was going to most certainly take control of things, but they have really slipped big time. They have not played well at home. They're not hitting the ball very well. And, of course, Mark Teixeira has been out with an injury. Jacoby Ellsbury's been out with an injury. Sabathia likely done for the season. Yankees are in trouble.
Well, we'll see. I don't know if they're so much in trouble like you say they are, but we'll see. We'll see if they fall apart near the end, like some people think they're going to.
Carlos Gomez came out and he says, quote, "I don't care what Joe Girardi says. If the Yankees feel frustrated, that's not my problem. This is part of the game, part of the nature of competition. And those who don't know how to compete can just go home and cry."
Well, see, the problem is, whether either it's the Yankees or Toronto for the wild card, they have a 4-game lead up on the second team in the wild card.
Quite frankly, I have to say that the Blue Jays have about the best chance of winning the American League East than the Yankees do.
Correct. Right now, you're right. Right now, you're absolutely correct because Yankees are a game and a half behind Toronto for the American League East, but the Yankees are 4 games up over Texas in the first wild card to the second wild card.
And it's amazing that a number of teams that I thought were going to be gone, like the Rangers, they're hanging in there, even though they blew the game last night against Toronto. The Angels have been playing a little bit better, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Minnesota Twins have started to come on a little bit. They overtook the Baltimore Orioles over the weekend. So the pressure's on the Yankees more because the teams that are catching them, Texas and the Angels and the Twins, are starting to play better than the Yankees are. The Orioles might have a chance. Tampa Bay maybe. White Sox maybe. But time is running out.
Well, right now it looks like it's between Texas, Minnesota, and L.A. because Minnesota and the Los Angeles Angels are only a half a game behind Texas.
Right.
So it's those 3 teams, Texas, Minnesota, and the Angels, fighting for the second wild card spot.
Yeah, but
Pretty
the
much.
Yankees do not look good. They have played bad ball the last 5-5 in their last 10 games, not hitting the ball, relying too much on the home run, and the Toronto Blue Jays really sent a blow to them a couple weeks ago, and they went into Yankee Stadium and swept them. So now it's just a dispute about what's going to happen with the Yankees, and I feel like Joe Girardi, if he lets this lead slip and let's say the Yankees collapse, I could say that Joe Girardi's job could be on the line, or Brian Cashman, because the Yankees have not been in the playoffs the last 2 years.
Cubbies are only 2 games behind Pittsburgh for the wild card. That's
Cubs are
crazy.
As you know, I have to say, as a Red Sox fan, it's just amazing with what you've seen out of the Cubs. They're one of the teams that are coming right along, and Joe Madden even said last year that he guaranteed that this would be the year the Cubs would get the playoffs. He guaranteed it, and there's like a big playoff feel coming in the Windy City with the Chicago Cubs. The White Sox, not so much. But on the other side, the Cubs. Oh, here comes the man who's happy with the Pirates, Wes.
What's up, Wes? How you doing there, buddy? Pirates are holding on by a wing and a prayer right now, aren't they? They're 2 games up on the Cubbies for the wild card. They're holding on like a wing and a prayer, my friend.
Yeah, and I pointed out yesterday, Wes, that Jeff says the worst-case scenario and the last thing I need is for the Cardinals collapse and blow the National League Central lead, and then the Pirates overtake them and win the National League Central.
Well, Pirates are back to being 4.5 behind St. Louis, so I'm okay with that. But I know they have a big couple of series left with St. Louis coming. I know that. And,
very true.
Yeah, I know that. And do the Cubbies and the Pirates have a couple of series left, too? I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I'm just checking here, too, Jeff, before we get to the top of the
hour
hour
break.
break.
Do. Yeah, I'm sure they do. Hey, Wes, we just had Jon Machot on from the Dallas Morning News talking Dallas Cowboys football. If you missed that interview, you should go back and listen to it after the show's over. Really good interview.
Wes says to you, Jeff, Pirates are taking division, buddy.
Pirates are taking the division?
He says they're going to win the division.
Well, he says that every year. It's kind of like, you know what? He says that every year. It's kind of like Jerry Jones.
Looking at the Pirates' schedule as we get to the top of the hour break real quickly, they will play St. Louis in September, the 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's a weekend series. The Pirates then have a big matchup against the Chicago Cubs. They have 6 meetings.
Yeah,
so that's going to really determine where the Pirates will be.
Yeah, that's going to determine. And look, he's honest. He says the Cubs are hot right now. They are. They're smoking hot right now. Look at my nephew. My nephew says they're not going to hold it. The Cubs will take the lead. My nephew's starting crap. Hey, we're going to run to our top of the hour break. Listen to Jeff Escow, Sean Mann on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, "Is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us." And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too. Don't wait until it's too late.
Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on Sports World Radio. 6 o'clock on the East, 3 o'clock on the West. If you live in the Central.
If you live in the Central, figure it out for yourself.
Hey, Wes, you working out? Okay, you ready, Wes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Come on, you fat bastard, move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, you fat bastard, move. That's right. Work that stomach. Work that beer off your head over the weekend, you fat bastard.
Sure, Wes. Yeah, 3 minutes after the hour, we're at the second hour of Sports World Radio. And, of course, we mentioned about the Pittsburgh Pirates. Of course, they got a big series coming up with the Cardinals, and the Pirates and the Cubs do meet 6 times. So I know Wes is looking very much forward to that for Major League Baseball.
Yeah, before you know it, you know what? By the time baseball seasons end, the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to be done, and the Steelers could be done.
And Wes will be frustrated.
And then he'll be 3 for 3, and then he'll have no more show.
Yeah, because our shows are on the line.
That's right, because he's only got 2 left. In fact, by the end of baseball season, he's only going to have 1 team left.
Yep, Wes, you'll be out of work. You'll be out of luck, because then the G-Fix show shuts down.
Poor Bubba. He'll have to rename his show something else. It can't be called the GF6 show no more. Because if you think he's going to stop doing a show, you're kidding me.
LeBron James made some news, as I mentioned in the update. LeBron James sold his waterfront estate in Miami for $13.4 million.
He probably tried to sell it for a lot more, but it wasn't worth what he thought it was going to be.
That's right. LeBron James, he took his talents to Miami, and now he's taking his money out of it. James, who played with the Heat for 4 seasons before returning to the Cleveland Cavaliers last year, sold his Miami home Tuesday for $13.4 million, a source confirmed to ESPN.com. James paid $9 million in 2010 for the home, which has 6 bedrooms and 8.5 bathrooms. He sold it to Timo and Nathalia Kipp, who are married.
6 bedrooms, 8.5 baths?
Yes.
So there's more baths than there are bedrooms?
There are more bathrooms than there are bedrooms.
Jesus criminy.
With him making millions of dollars, LeBron James can afford that.
Well, yeah, Jesus criminy. More bathrooms than bedrooms.
Wow. James originally put the 12,178 square foot home in Miami's Coconut Grove neighborhood on the market for $17 million in October. The price was dropped to $15 million in March and eventually sold for $1.6 million less.
Yeah, so for $13 million, right?
Yep.
Yeah. See?
About the money for LeBron James.
He probably lost a ton of money on that deal because he built that house. So he probably lost a ton of money on that deal.
Yeah, and then he's probably getting ready to make millions of dollars with his house in Cleveland.
Good.
Especially for a guy who is popular with that, and then, of course, with Space Jam 2, which he's probably expected to be in by next year.
Good. I hope he lost a ton of money on that deal. He's got to go make a movie so he can make it up.
Well, I'm not very impressed with his acting career anyway, because he was in a movie this year, which was a rated R movie.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. He has got to go act so he can make up that loss he made for his house. Ridiculous.
Yes, especially with the fact that the NBA season is coming right around the corner.
He should take that money and donate it.
Donate it to charity?
Yes. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need it at all. You know?
And J.R. Smith announced his return to the Cavaliers, too.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Next Monday, the 3rd.
So, free agent guard J.R. Smith has agreed to terms with the Cavaliers. He announced his on Instagram page Thursday night. So, J.R. Smith is coming back to the Cavaliers. He says, "My point is to make sure we can bring the Cavaliers an NBA championship."
Right.
We'll see. Good luck with that, Cavs. It'll be amazing to see how well they played this season. It seems like they want to sign everybody on their team. Holy cow.
Mm-hmm. I know. It's crazy. Everybody. You're going to sign everybody. That's what they're going to do.
Ronnie, that's a good point. He has to act because he can't win an NBA championship. Yeah, 2-4 for NBA Finals appearances rings a bell.
LeBron, I'm tired of him. Move on.
Yeah, I'm tired of him myself.
Move on.
But, of course, I know with the NBA season, everybody's ready for it. Players are actually coming back for NBA in a couple weeks to work out as the preseason starts in October.
I guess. Yeah.
And
okay,
especially
let's go.
since you're boycotting
yeah.
the Cavs, you're still looking forward to
No,
NBA.
I'm not watching any Cavs games, so it's not going to matter to me. Move on.
All right. The next story we get to in the NBA, this is addressed towards you, Jeff. How long will Phil Jackson be with the Knicks? Year one of the Phil Jackson rebuild of the Knicks resulted in the worst season in franchise history. How will year two shape up? After striking out on the big-name free agents this summer, the Knicks signed veterans Robin Lopez and Aaron Afalo and drafted, good luck with that name.
See, everybody, the problem is everybody wants Phil Jackson to go after the big names and get the big guys and spend the big money, correct?
Correct.
The problem is not every big name fits into the system that they're running over there, you dumbasses.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith.
Especially you, Stephen A. Smith. You should know that. You should know that. They're running the triangle offense. Not everybody fits into that system. Okay, you only need 2 or 3 good players, and that's it. Not great players, good players, and you'll be fine. They will be better this year than they were last year. They will be better next year than they will be this year. They will improve every year. Give him a chance. He's only been there 1 stinking year.
And everybody's ripping him and saying, he didn't do enough. He's not getting the Knicks a bright future. They're not going to ever win a championship.
I believe I said
Yep.
that he is not going after A players. He's going to get himself a bunch of B players and make a good team out of a bunch of B players. Correct?
Correct.
So that's what he did, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Wow. I guess I don't know what I'm talking about, do I, Mr. Dick? He did exactly what I said he was going to do before he did it.
And like you've always said, Jeff, give the Knicks a few years, and then you'll start seeing the winning ways coming back like it did in the decade of the 90s.
Ridiculous, man.
Not exactly a San Antonio Spurs kind of offseason haul, although noted Knicks critic Charles Barkley said he was impressed with some of the Knicks' moves.
You know? It's just ridiculous.
What do you say to that, Jeff, about Charles Barkley saying, I'm impressed with what I've seen from the New York Knicks offseason? He's been a critic of the Knicks.
Well, I haven't really seen too much of what they've done in the offseason. You know, I've tried to watch some of the stuff in the summer, but, you know, I'm okay with what he did. Because I knew that's what he was going to do. Because I'm smarter than Stephen A. Smith. I'm smarter than freaking Skip Bayless. I knew that's what he was going to do. And if you can't see that, then you shouldn't be in the media or be a fan of that team because you're just as dumb as everybody else is.
Our ESPN forecast panel projects that this year, the New York Knicks for 2015-2016 season will result in a 25-57 season, better than only the lowly Philadelphia 76ers in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I have them about 25 to 30 wins. Okay? I want to see them. They had 17 wins last year, okay?
Right.
I want to see them double that. That would be nice. Okay? And then you can shut everybody up and say, hey, look, they just doubled their wins from the season before. That means they're getting better, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Then shut up, Stephen A. Smith.
Yes, there is plenty of work ahead for the Knicks to be a contender in the Eastern Conference. So, will Jackson, who will be 70 in September, stick around to fulfill his 5-year contract as the team?
See, that's the thing.
Knicks?
I don't know.
Stupid.
That's the thing. Unless they win, unless they improve every year, and Dolan is staying out of his way, then he's going to stay. If they only win 10 games this year, and say only 22 next year, he ain't going to stick around. But if they improve this year, okay, if they double their wins this year and can do that again next year, Dolan's going to stay out of his way anyway because they're improving, and he ain't going to go anywhere.
My personal opinion about this whole scenario surrounding the Knicks is that they know very well that yes, they want to contend again, and they're a few years away. And I don't think Phil Jackson will step down after next year. I think he has a chance to maybe fulfill those 5 years because Phil Jackson, like we've always pointed out time after time, has the experience because of the 11 rings that he won as a coach. And, of course, he can do it with the Knicks, but he needs to find the pieces to make the Knicks a legitimate contender again.
As long as they're progressively getting better each year and Dolan is staying out of his way, he probably will fulfill his 5-year contract.
And try to end a championship drought for the Knicks.
Correct. But you know what I think about ifs.
Yep, I know how you feel
and that's
about
a big, and that's a big if. They have to produce and they have to get better every year in order for him to stick around. See? And I'm trying to figure out a way without... They don't do that. Just take the word if out. They don't do that. And he's going to leave.
Then things deteriorate and they'll fall through.
Things, yeah, exactly. We're going to run to our quarter-hour break. We're going to get Ron Gallo in here, talk some hockey. You're listening to Jeff Eskow, Shaw Man on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow New Way to Workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Eskow, Shaw Man, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. All right, as we promised, he's running a little late, but he is here. Was out last week, but he's back. The hockey guru of Sports World Radio, Ron Gallo. What's up, buddy?
Hey, not too much. Just trying to get ready for the big ride this weekend.
How's the weather out there in Canada, eh?
It's absolutely gorgeous today. It started out a little cool, but I was up this morning at 6:30 to mark out a trail for the Spruce Kings. That's the local Junior A hockey team. They had to go on their royal run today. But it is gorgeous. Sun is shining. You can feel the heat on the back of your neck, and it's gorgeous in Canada, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty freaking hot out here and gorgeous today. Yesterday we had a little bit of rain here in San Diego, but today it's sunny San Diego, hot, high 90s, and I got the AC on.
Yeah, they need some water up in, it's unfortunate for me, but they need some water up in the northwestern there, Washington State especially.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, they got some fires going on over there.
It's smoky. It's like 95 here today. Hot.
Are you getting smoked out? When's the rain expected? Just in time for my ride, right?
maybe this weekend. We might get
exactly.
I open thunderstorms on Saturday.
How long is that ride, Ron?
250 kilometers. What is that in miles? I actually don't even know. I'd have to figure that.
I don't know. I live in America. I don't speak kilometers.
I know. I'm going to have to figure that one out here for you real quick.
That's pretty funny.
We ride from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada,
into America, right?
To Seattle, Washington.
Yeah. So we should get Sean out there to meet you and greet you as you're coming over the Canadian borderline, man.
Well, the Canadian border is going to happen fairly quick. We ride the first leg through to Mount Vernon, and then have a bit of a wine, not a wind down party, I guess, just a rev up party, if you will. And that's in Mount Vernon, and then the next morning we finish the ride into Seattle. I'm being told that there's a nice hill waiting for us at the very end of the ride.
You better make sure you got your passport so you can get back into Canada.
Oh, I've got the passport. I wouldn't be able to get into the States, actually, without it.
Oh, so it's the other way around. You can't come in without it, but you can go in Canada without it, right?
Yeah. So, that's where the big problem is trying to cross the border in the United States. Pretty tight. So
how long are you going to be in Seattle for?
I will be in Seattle basically for one day. I will, when we arrive at about 3:30 in the afternoon, there will be a wrap up, and we'll go from there back to Vancouver. Some people will stay the night in Seattle. I don't think we will. I think we'll head back. And,
if you stayed the night, we could have got Sean to come on over and hang out with you.
Exactly. By the way, the conversion of 250 kilometers is 155 miles.
So you're going to bicycle 155 miles?
That's correct.
One way?
That's one way,
You're not riding back, right?
No, don't have to ride back. But I've done the equivalent of what we'll do in a half day. I've done that a couple of times. So I think I'll be fine as long as I approach it like it's supposed to be approached. It's a ride, not a race.
I got to figure out how to get your Sports World Radio shirt up there mighty freaking quickly.
Mighty freaking quickly.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Wow, that's great, man. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. You've been training hard for that, haven't you?
A number of months, yeah. I mean, you go back 3 years ago, and I would have never ever thought I would be doing something like this. But I mean, from running small little races to going on some big hikes, and now going on a great big bike ride.
Wow, that's great. All right, let's get into some hockey talk here on Sports World Radio. We don't talk hockey much here, once a week usually when Ron's in the house, because he comes in every Wednesday, second hour of the show, to do just this, talk some hockey.
It's getting close.
Yes.
This might be the last week where there's really kind of not much going on as far as news, but that will change next Wednesday once we roll into the month of September. I mean, they're already in countdown for the start of training camp. The Stanley Cup is wrapping up its tour with the Chicago Blackhawks, the winning team from last June, and they are, what happens in the off-season is the Stanley Cup gets to travel one day with every member of the winning team. So they're just wrapping that up, and that kind of signifies the end of the off-season. The off-season, lots of people are now realizing that player movements are all but done. And so there's little things happening and little things going on behind the scenes to try and get everybody up and ready for speed. Montreal Canadiens made some noise today by trying to create a little bit more offense. So what Montreal has done, he's trying to take some of the weight off of Carey Price. Carey Price won 3 big awards in the offseason, including the Hart Trophy, and also the regular season MVP. But what they've done now is they've added and signed and completed signing for some of the players. They are a defensive-minded team with Carey Price, PK Subban being the 2 big pillars, one in goal and one behind the blue line. But, anyways, the Montreal Canadiens making a little bit of noise today, and we'll see how it all pans out, because right now it's all speculation. I mean, everybody's perfect record right now.
Hey, you know something? I'm sitting here looking at this article, and I don't know why it caught my eye. Do you know that in the ECHL there was a team called the Greenville Road Warriors?
Yes.
And they changed their name to the Swamp Rabbits?
Oh, I was hearing about that.
What the Swamp? Listen, the Road Warriors sounds a hell of a lot better than the Swamp Rabbits.
Yeah, they've rebranded. This comes this week. The logo, trying to figure out, it reminds me of another logo that we have, but the hockey stick morphs into a carrot.
Yeah. There you go. There's the article. They got a picture of it. You're absolutely right. It's a hockey stick at the bottom, and he's got his hand midway down, and then from his hand on up, it's a carrot, and he's holding on to the lettuce at the top. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, and that's designed to look like, it is a carrot top, but it's designed to look more like a puff of smoke, image
Correct.
of speed. Uses the colors similar to the Nashville Predators with the brown and the orange.
Right. Yeah, if you go to the link, they have a picture of it right there. Boom. Whammo. They have the logo right there. You can't miss it. Swamp Rabbits? Come on.
Yeah.
You can do better than that.
Speaking of the NHL, any news about the Las Vegas Aces news?
Oh, they're huge. They're now into Phase 3 of the expansion in Las Vegas and in Quebec City. These two markets are on the fast track to try to get the next NHL franchise.
Yeah, Jeff, get ready for the Las Vegas Aces coming.
The funny thing is if there's only one awarded, it goes to the Las Vegas Aces, period. Because that's the only way Gary Bettman can avoid having to do another realignment of the league.
There you go, Jeff. That's Gary Bettman for you.
Las Vegas Aces. Wonder how they're going to keep that ice from melting in Vegas.
Well, you could say the same thing about the two arenas down in Florida.
Yeah, well, it's a lot more hotter. Well, come on. Vegas is in the freaking desert. At least the arenas in Florida are, you know what I mean?
There's a number of arenas. They struggle with that. I mean, you look at the arena in St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay Lightning. You look at the arena outside Miami for the Florida Panthers. Columbus is not that far out of the Sun Belt, and you've got the Arizona Coyotes.
The Las Vegas Aces. That's a joke.
And then the Las Vegas Aces, and it's just.
I'm gonna. If I ever go to Vegas during hockey season, I'm gonna see if I can get tickets. I ain't gonna pay for them. I'm gonna see if I can get free tickets to go because I want to see what it looks like. First of all, and second of all, I want to see how many fans are there.
That would be you, Jeff, doing that.
Yes, and then I'm gonna take my little mini recorder and I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna interview fans.
How do you measure fans, though? I mean, there's the obvious, the empty seats versus the filled seats. That makes spectators.
Well, this is what you do. You look around the glass, because normally season ticket holders sit around the glass, correct?
Season ticket holders can sit around anywhere. Corporate season ticket holders have the boxes.
Correct, but you look around the glass for the season ticket holders, and then during a period, you go out to the concourse out there, and you find those people, and you freaking talk to them.
What I would suggest is there's three levels of fans. The third or the least visible level is a spectator. You don't know that they're a fan. They could be somebody that was given a free ticket.
Correct.
They could be somebody who only comes to the odd game. They could be somebody who's actually very, very adamant fan, but they don't show it. Right. They don't wear jerseys.
Well, I'll just walk up to somebody and say, are you a season ticket holder? Do you live here in Vegas? No? Okay, get the hell out of here. Are you a season ticket holder? You live in... No, get the hell out. You know me.
You're going to take the whole game to get somebody to say that they live in Vegas.
I'll find them. And you know what? And if they say no, and then you know what? It's perfect to do a survey. No, I don't live it. Well, how'd you get your ticket? Was it given to you or did you buy it? Right?
Yeah.
Because you want to find out who got free tickets and who paid for them, correct? Because if they're giving, if the hotels are giving out free tickets, how the hell is the team making any freaking money?
Well, the MGM will be a corporate sponsor, so they'll get tickets for part of their corporate sponsorship.
And you know damn well MGM is going to give away a lot of the tickets and comp people.
Absolutely.
Correct? And you know that some of those other hotels will buy tickets like that, season ticket. Sure, why wouldn't you? Right? Buy a booth and then give it to your high rollers or something like that. And then buy little mid-range tickets to give away to people. I would not be surprised if majority of the season tickets are owned by the hotels there in Vegas to be given away.
Without question. And that's where I was going to go next, Jeff, is measure fan support by the number of spectators that are wearing jersey or at least a hat.
Because they do say, right, but they do say, what, they sold over 13,000 season tickets already?
Well, I think the number is higher than that. I'll probably use this break to go and find what the new total is. But, yeah, there had to be X amount of support in order for it to happen. I guarantee you, thousands of tickets were probably purchased by one or two people.
By one or two hotels. He's exactly right. I agree with that. We're going to run to our final update of the day. This update is brought to you by The Flipper. Head on over to flipperflipper.com and never, ever touch your toilet seat ever again. It's The Flipper, and it's at flipperflipper.com. Take it away, Sean Mann, with the final update of the day.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. Thank you, Ron Gallo. 29 minutes after the hour. It is August 26, 2015. NFL, the preseason will resume on Friday. It'll be the Patriots taking on the Carolina Panthers, the Lions at the Jaguars, Titans at the Chiefs, the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Buffalo Bills. This is Saturday's games. The Falcons at the Dolphins, Browns at the Buccaneers. Vikings will take on the Dallas Cowboys. The Jets will take on the Giants. The Bears at the Bengals. Redskins at the Ravens. Seahawks at the Chargers. Packers will host the Philadelphia Eagles. Colts at the St. Louis Rams. 49ers at the Broncos. That's Saturday's action. We'll get to Sundays later in the week. In Major League Baseball, here's what we got going on right now as we speak. Top second, the Padres and the Nationals are tied at 0. The Mets, the red-hot New York Mets, they strike for 3 runs in the top half of the first inning. They lead 3-0 against the Philadelphia Phillies. The Angels, who are starting to play better ball of late, they're taking on the Tigers. They're not too far away from the Yankees in that top AL wildcard spot. The Brewers and the Indians, and of course the Angels are tied with a bunch of other teams for number 2 wildcard spot. Brewers and the Indians, interleague play, no score, bottom first. The Rockies at the Braves, no score in that one, top second. No score down in Cincinnati between the Dodgers and the Reds. The Pirates and the Marlins, they are tied at 1, top half of the second inning. The Twins at the Rays, there is no score in that one. There's other action to get to in Major League Baseball. Blue Jays at Rangers, Red Sox at White Sox, Orioles at Royals, Cardinals at Diamondbacks, and lastly on Wednesday Night Baseball on ESPN, that will feature the Cubs at the Giants. 2 finals today from Major League Baseball. The red-hot Houston Astros, who have played good ball of late, they defeat the New York Yankees by a score of 6-2 for afternoon baseball in the Bronx. Down in Seattle, the Mariners, they prevail against the Athletics 8-2. I'm Sean Mann for the final update for Sports World Radio. This update was brought to you by The Flipper. Go to flipperflipper.com and never, ever touch your toilet seat ever again. When we come back from this commercial break and the update, we will have Ron Gallo talking more about the NHL. Be right back after this commercial break.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. All right, we were talking about the Las Vegas Aces before we went to break. And, Ron, I know you found that stat, so tell us.
Well, I didn't find the stat for the total season tickets sold yet. I have been told that it is well over 15,000. I haven't found a number. Wow. But I was looking at some of the premium seating that they're offering right now. So they do have the luxury suites, which is a private suite for every game, will accommodate 12 to 16 people. But interestingly, they're going with some sub-level suites as well. There's event suites that are game by game. They will have logo boxes, or the logo boxes are a luxury box for 4 to 6 people, and they'll also have what's called club tables. They're advertising those as intimate VIP area for 4 people to enjoy the game. When you think of tables in Vegas, obviously you're thinking blackjack.
Right.
Well, maybe they'll sell out every game there, Jeff, in Las Vegas. You check the games out, and they'll sell out in Las Vegas.
Okay, but how many of those people are actually? How many of those season ticket holders are actually live in Vegas?
Okay, now here's the interesting stat. Okay, here's the interesting stat that I found. They have an online poll where the people that visit this website, and they list it as being open for residents of Las Vegas and area and people around the world. They only have 800 people voting, and they've got a 40% total, or a lead. 40% of the voters say that they want the name of the new arena or the new team to be the Las Vegas Aces.
Yeah, and that's only a poll from 800 people.
800 people. This is a website for the Las Vegas. It's called Vegas Wants Hockey. It's for the Las Vegas NHL franchise. They only have 800 people in the voting.
That's because only 800 season tickets have been sold to people.
That's what I'm getting to. That's
people who actually live there, because the rest of them have been bought up by the hotels.
If you count the number of purchases made, not the number of tickets made. Not the number of tickets sold, but the number of purchases made.
Right. It's not much.
Not very much. It's not very much.
No.
You've probably got, out of those 15,000 tickets that are out there, you probably have 15 to 20 people that have bought them.
Every hotel has probably bought at least a minimum of 1,000 seats. You figure,
exactly.
Right?
Yep.
A minimum. That's not including the boxes for their high rollers.
No, those boxes I would think are going to be left open.
Right? Because all the hotels and the bigwigs out there are going to buy those boxes up so they can put their high rollers in there.
Look at Jabba says, meanwhile, fans in Seattle and Quebec stew.
Well, they do. Seattle especially. I thought for sure Seattle was going to be in that hold, but they're not. Quebec is definitely well on their way. They are right with the Las Vegas Aces. But if it comes down to only one team, it is going to be Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Which is kind of frustrating because I thought Seattle would probably be the first choice because They're trying to get something for fall sports for a professional sports team to be back since the Sonics left.
Yeah. I think if you bring hockey, I'm going to say back, but if you bring hockey to the Seattle area, what will come back, I think, is a little bit of hoops.
Maybe. I really hope that what can end up happening is that they can get something taken care of for that, because, like I said, Ron, where I have lived now for 4 years, people still talk about how frustrated they were when the Sonics left, because they were a big deal up here in the Northwest.
Well, what is it, a 3.5-hour drive?
It's 5.5 hours from Seattle, and I've only lived 45 minutes from Spokane.
Yeah, and people would make that journey.
Yep.
Every day of the week.
Indeed.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you start getting close to any NHL franchise city. Vancouver Canucks is obviously one that's close to me. Where I live, you'll actually get people that will, kind of flip a coin. Are they going to go and see Edmonton, or are they going to go see Vancouver? They'll buy flights. When we have silent auction items up here to support nonprofit charity groups, one of the biggest prizes is always a trip for two to go and see an NHL game, whether it's in Edmonton or whether it's in Vancouver. We're 8 hours away, both directions, driving time, and an hour away flight time from either of those NHL franchises. But people from here will go there on a game day.
Shava brings up an interesting point, Jeff and Ron. How about this? Again, they should, possibly move the Panthers out of Florida to Seattle and leave Vegas alone. That's what Shava says.
You move Florida Panthers out of the East into the West, you will then have a 15-15. This is with no expansions. You will now have a 15-15 split in the NHL for East and West Conference. Perfect alignment. You add in Vegas, you add in Quebec, you now have 16-16. And that's why, if anybody's been wondering why I'm saying Vegas will win over Quebec, it's because right now the split in the conferences is 16-14, with the Eastern Conference having two more teams than the Western Conference. If you add Quebec into that mix, you're now at 17-14.
Right.
If you bring in Vegas, you're at 17-15. Still, that's a one team too many in the East that should be in the West. And we go back to which team, Jeff? Detroit.
Correct.
Should never have been put in the East. So, I mean, I'm not a detective here, but I look at all of the pieces of the puzzle, and I tell you that Gary Bettman did that alignment because he believed honestly that he was going to end up with the two teams out in the West. He believed he was going to end up with a team in Vegas, and he believed he was going to end up with a team in Seattle.
Right.
Which has been an absolute joke. Put things back the way they were.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He screwed the pooch when they decided to screw the league, the divisions up.
That was after the 2012-2013 season, and I was shocked by that.
I mean, even thinking you're going to run.
Will we lose him?
I'm still here.
Okay, yeah, I guess. Are you there, Ron?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. If you're looking at the year of the realignment, and you're saying to yourself, we're going to consciously make a decision that we're going to put an extra team in the East by taking one away from the West, and we're going to have truly a misalignment in our realignment, you know he wanted it only to last a year.
Right.
He got distracted with the chaos going on in Phoenix with the Phoenix Coyotes, and that's still not done. They don't have a lease for the next season. So the Arizona Coyotes could be on the move. But you know damn well that if he consciously made the decision that Detroit should be in the East and the split will be 16-14 as far as the conferences go, you know that he expected to have something within a year or 2 years out west to balance everything off. So he's way behind his own personal target of having a properly aligned NHL. I think he wanted to have a 16-16, 32-team league.
I think
I'm okay with that as long as everybody's in their proper location.
Exactly, like Jeff points out.
So Detroit had to agree to this. So I ask you, why did Detroit agree to this? Detroit had to agree to this for at least the reason that they believed that there would be a better travel schedule for them by being in the East. You look at the number of teams that they play in their own time zone, and the number of teams that they play in their own time zone are spread out by a lot more of a north-south distance as opposed to an east-west distance, because Detroit is so north in the United States, and everybody else in that time zone is a lot more, obviously, to the south. So you look in the East, and Detroit would have agreed to it because they get to play all the teams in the Eastern Conference, like Toronto, like Montreal, like Boston, like New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. All of those teams are really in spitting distance of one another, and Detroit gets to go on these shortened road trips that they won't have because they had to play out west. So you know why Detroit said yes to this. It's not because it makes sense to their fans. It's not because it makes sense to anybody that's looking at it, but they believe that it was going to save them money because of the amount of Eastern teams that they would have to play and their close proximity to one another. So their travel, their mileage, their travel will be reduced. But you know that Gary Bettman suggested it in the first place because he expected to have 2 more teams in the West.
Right.
That is right. And on that note, we got to go to our final commercial break of the day.
You're listening to Jeff Escow, Showman, Ron Gallo on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us. And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too. Don't wait until it's too late.
Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wide world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann, bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on Sports World Radio. 6 o'clock on the East, 3 o'clock on the West. And if you live in the Central...
If you live in the Central, figure it out for yourself.
Nice. All right, Ron Gallo with us, talking hockey like he does each and every second hour of Wednesday's show. Last segment of the show. What do you got for us, buddies?
As I mentioned a little earlier in this hour, teams are just kind of prepping to get together. The players on the ice practicing together with one another. And the management of these teams are putting together their last thoughts before it all comes together with some preseason games. Phil Kessel, traded a long time ago from the Boston Bruins to the Toronto Maple Leafs, was a sore spot with the Toronto Maple Leafs and their fans here the last little while, came to a head, ended up being traded to Pittsburgh. Phil Kessel may have actually won the Pittsburgh Penguins lottery jackpot because he now gets the center with Sidney Crosby.
Right.
So those two are expected to be playing together. Phil Kessel could all of a sudden become the shining light as opposed to the dying ember that he was when he was with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Interesting little scenario. Interesting if you look at the chronology of Phil Kessel and what he's gone through, it's kind of bizarre. And you got to ask yourself, though, how much of it is his own fault. But if you remember, they changed the All-Star game to a player. Whenever you play pickup hockey as a little kid, you throw the sticks into the middle, and someone goes in there and just starts whipping sticks on both sides of the ice. That's one way. The other way is, and this happens in every sport, not just hockey, but you get two guys, you get the two jocks, you get the two studs, and they get to pick one by one. They take turns, and they kind of pick from the group, and they call out the players. They were doing that in the NHL, where the captains of the East and the captains of the West would pick the next player, and 2 years in a row, Phil Kessel was the last one picked.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a big move for Pittsburgh, just to see what they'll be like with Phil Kessel. Because, Ron, when you think about it, the Penguins want to add depth, and I did see something that he's already training, like you pointed out before, with Sidney Crosby. It should be an interesting season out there in the Steel City for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Well, Phil Kessel, where I think I was going with all of this, he's got to become his own best friend.
Yes, he does. Mm-hmm.
He let the media, he let the fans, he let everything get to him. And last off season, he did really nothing to train. He came back. He was heavy. He was out of shape. And he never really recovered from that. The whole season was a write-off, not just for Phil Kessel, but for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Phil Kessel wore that, perhaps more than even Dion Phaneuf, the captain, did. Dion Phaneuf is expected to remain the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he is obviously still with that team. But Phil Kessel became the poster child for change in the Toronto Maple Leafs organization and was traded to Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh has embraced Phil Kessel. They've really given him an opportunity to erase his past and start writing a new chapter in his hockey career, in his hockey resume.
True, and I have to say, though, did you think it was just because, Ron, you mentioned about how he let the media and maybe let the, the Maple Leafs down? Do you think it was a confidence problem, that he wasn't confident in himself?
No, in fact, it might have been the exact opposite. It might have been that he felt he had nothing to lose. If you're close to the game, if you're close to any sport, you will see this. You'll see this in players. You'll see players who know that they've got to do a certain amount of work in the off season. You'll see other players who go, it's the first month of the off season. I am going to rest and relax, and the last thing I want to remember or think about or do is anything that's related to my sport of choice. And then in the second month of the off season, they find themselves so far backwards that they can't catch up, or they're not pushing themselves hard enough to be able to be in competitive form. Then they show up into training camp, month of September, for the game of hockey, and the media recognizes right away when the trainer has to bring out a new jersey for Phil Kessel because he can't fit in the one that he wore last year. So I think it was partly to do with almost overconfidence in the off season, and then of course he got caught. And once you get caught, that's it. It's going to take a couple of weeks before you can lose any of that extra weight that you may have put on in the off season. And all eyes of the media are on you. Now that means that all eyes of the fans are on you, which now means because you're playing hockey in the center of the universe, the entire hockey world is watching you. So Phil Kessel was under a microscope for the entire season last year and could never do anything right, no matter how hard he tried. Once he had sabotaged himself, that was it. He was done.
True, and the way I look at it with Kessel is that at least now that the Penguins are idolizing him, wanting to make sure that he will become a better player to maybe help the Penguins have a chance to win the Stanley Cup finals. But for the Penguins, though, it's going to be a heck of a road to get there because there'll be a lot of challenge here in the Eastern Conference.
Well, you know who benefits in all of this?
Who?
Evgeny Malkin.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I pull that name just out of a hat? When Pittsburgh lost in the first round of the postseason, Evgeny Malkin went home to Russia, and of course Russia media does the same thing that any media does, talks to their star athletes, and Malkin said the current makeup of the Pittsburgh Penguins will prevent them from ever winning the Cup again. In North America, any athlete that says that is really saying, what? It's time to trade me.
Right.
Time to say goodbye.
The player handlers were able to get to Malkin. They talked to him. He never issued a rebuttal. He never issued a retraction. He never issued another explanation. He never issued another media interview. He never did anything. He was basically told, get out of the media spotlight, do what you have to do to be ready to come back this season. Nobody has seen Malkin all off season. He's been laying low. He's been trying to stay out of the spotlight, and that's why I'm saying this might be an opportunity for Malkin to correct his ways too, because he is very outspoken. He's been outspoken in the past. He'll be outspoken in the future if they didn't correct him. But Malkin may actually benefit from all of this. So we'll see how that plays out. Speaking of Russian players, by the way, did you hear that the Russian Hockey Federation was fined for skating off the ice during the World Cup of Hockey when they lost to Team Canada?
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's the deal with Ovechkin being defiant in determining in the play in the 2018 Olympics?
Sorry, ask the question again.
What's Ovechkin's deal with wanting to play in the 2018 Olympics and being defiant in his determination to do it? He's not being nice about it, from what I understand.
No, he's not. What he's hearing is the NHL does not want to go back to the Olympics.
Good.
Well, he wants to win Olympic gold.
Well, I'm sorry, you're a professional and they don't want to send pros no more, so you're going to have to either get out of the NHL to do it or shut your mouth.
Well, that's where the defiance comes from, is because he wants an opportunity to win something. He keeps being measured. Don't forget, he won Rookie of the Year by default, in my opinion, because Sidney Crosby could not win it because he had been drafted the year before.
Right.
And that was the year that there was no hockey.
Right.
So Sidney Crosby couldn't win it. Alexander Ovechkin wins Rookie of the Year. Other than that, Ovechkin has nothing on Crosby.
Nothing. See, the problem is that Ovechkin thinks it's his world.
That's right.
And it's not, because you haven't done a goddamn thing, kind of like Tony Romo.
Well, exactly. And the reason why, and I can't speak for any player, but I know that this is a team sport. If you get a player that is too individualistic, thinks that the world revolves around him, that the game revolves around him, that the team revolves around him, LeBron James, you're not going to have success.
I agree. And that's Ovechkin's problem.
Alexander Ovechkin is another great example. He thinks that the game is all about him.
Yep.
And it's not.
And I see that every time he plays. I see it. That's why I don't like the son of a bitch. It's plain and simple. He thinks the hockey world is his world, and everybody else is playing for him.
You know, that's why he can score as many goals as he can score. You look at probably the definition, and I ask you guys to go to the record book and look this up to get the real numbers, but by definition, Wayne Gretzky was a true team player. If you take away all of his goals and only look at his assists, he still has more points than any other NHL player.
Wow.
You take away his goals, the actual goals that he scored, and you look at just his assists, those are the plays where he set up either as the first or the second playmaker to the goal scorer.
Yeah.
He has almost 1,500 points.
Wow.
And he's the one that wants to win a Stanley Cup so bad.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's not going to win a Stanley Cup or a gold medal.
No, and I mean, obviously he's not going to win a gold medal if the NHL doesn't go back to the Winter Olympics.
And that's going to make me happy. On that note, we're getting the flock out of here for today. I hope everybody had a great time. I know we did too. Remember, we'll be back again tomorrow for another edition of Sports World Radio. I want to thank Jon Machot for coming in from the Dallas Morning News talking to us about the Dallas Cowboys today. Remember, everybody, we'll be back tomorrow. Until then, remember, you only have one life to live. Live it long, live it strong, and live it proud. And please don't forget, life may suck, but the alternative is unacceptable.
Amen.
Peace out, everybody. For Sean Mann, Josh Lopez, Ron Gallo, Jeff Escow, this has been Sports World Radio.
See ya and have a great evening.
Take care, Ray.
Shut up, Skip.
Hey, boys, Stimpy. We sure had fun today, didn't we? So long, kids. Come on, Stimpy, say goodbye.
Where are we going?
The show's over. See you next time.
Next time? When's that?
Pretty soon. Don't worry.
Pretty soon? How long is that?
In a little while, man.
Goodbye, folks. Goodbye, folks.